1929, 258. Look at some of these throws, though. How do you miss these throws? These are touchdown throws, and you're missing them. Like, I'll say this. If the Browns get average play from the quarterback position, they can do some damage in the playoffs.
RC, let's pick it up there, because he did miss some easy plays yesterday, and they wind up having to sort of survive a potential two-point conversion against a one-win Jacksonville team to get the win. What do you think, RC?
I think we got to stop moving the finish line on the Cleveland Browns, because that's what we're starting to do. At the beginning of this season, if you said at this point of the season, that's with Odell Beckham Jr. healthy, that's without Myles Garrett going on the COVID reserve list, if you said they would be 8-3 after 11 games, one of the top teams in the AFC, we all would have applauded. We all would have said Kevin Stefanski's done a great job. Kevin Stefanski should be up for Coach of the Year. So why are we pushing the finish line back? This team is just finding ways to win. And when they have Nick Chubb, who I think we have to start talking about, like the Derrick Henrys, like the Dalvin Cooks, like some of these guys we talk about at the top of the league, this team is different. This team is physical. This team's find ways to win. They keep the ball in their possession, and they allow Baker Mayfield to just do enough to win football games. This is going to be a playoff team. This year is a win for the Cleveland Browns, and let's give them that.
100% agree with that. I think both can be true, that they've done a great job, the coach has done a great job, Dan Orlovsky, and the quarterback, there remain some questions. What do you see?
Yeah, I think that my standing on the Browns right now is this. Baker Mayfield has some layup misses. He even came out and sent a tweet out yesterday like, hey, we're 8-3, I got to be better, and I will. So he's acknowledging that that can't happen. Now, the thought process for me is those misses are going to go away, right? A good quarterback just doesn't have a stretch of those misses. I've had Baker's back for a long time, and I'm one of those people who think that those misses are going to go away, that he will get rid of them when it matters the most. But then there's a camp of a lot of Browns fans, rightfully so, that's saying, when are those misses going to haunt us? When are they going to actually hurt us? And RC, you know better than me, but you can't have just good enough quarterback play to beat the Steelers, to beat the Ravens, and to win in the playoffs. And that's where I am with the Browns. It's either the layups for Baker Mayfield will go away and they'll be really good, or they're going to come back and hurt them when they don't want it to the most.
I will leave it there for the moment, but we will talk much more about them this week. It's a fascinating. Joining us, the game of the day yesterday involved these two legendary quarterbacks, Mahomes against Brady. And in the first quarter, it was the Chiefs who just took this game over completely. Tyreek Hill, unstoppable. Deuces on his way to the house, a 75-yard touchdown, but he was just getting warmed up. We're still in the first quarter. It's Mahomes again. It's Hill again. It's a touchdown again. And this time, he gets Rex a 9 from the Russian judge.
Yes, you got to stick that landing a little better than that, Greeny.
203 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter for Tyreek Hill. It was 17-0. Second quarter, Bucks looking to answer. And Rex, they were trying to...
A running back caught a football. Imagine that for Tampa Bay. Congratulations.
Rojo with the high hurdle and then the fancy footwork. He had 103 yards on the day. It was 20-7 at the half. Mid-third, it's 20-10. It's Mahomes again. Rex, it's Tyreek Hill again.
And it's man coverage again, Greeny. 101. Nice job.
13 catches, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns for Hill. Fourth quarter, Brady finding Mike Evans for 31 yards. That made it 27-17. They would get closer. They'd get this to 27-24 on this touchdown from Brady to Evans. And there's 4 minutes left in the game. So if they'd been able to get a stop, Brady would have had a chance to win the game. But you don't get a stop when Patrick Mahomes is playing quarterback for the other team. 3rd and 7. Rex, they put it away through the air.
3rd and 7. You know they're going to run the football here, Greeny. Of course they are. No, they're not. Why? Because you have Patrick Mahomes.
And ridiculous. With that, it is the Chiefs who get the win, 27-24. And so, again, we opened the show this morning talking from the Buccaneers side of things, their struggles, their offense, their game plan. Dan, now let's give due where it is clearly deserved. Let's talk about Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and it's going to go to one of those Tyreek Hill touchdowns. I want everyone to hear kind of the audio of one of these clips. You're going to listen to Patrick Mahomes break the huddle. This is right when he breaks the huddle. Just listen to him call out the coverage before he ever gets to the line of scrimmage. Pay attention. Okay, so now Patrick Mahomes just broke the huddle. He goes, cover zero for everyone. Cover zero is man coverage. Now, how does Patrick Mahomes, when he breaks the huddle, how is he able to already know the coverage before ever scanning over the defense? Because coverage indicators by Andy Reid. You take your tight end, you put him in the slot, a little bit of a non-traditional place. He's matched by safety. Okay, I've got a man-to-man coverage. Now I'll put Le'Veon Bell out here. Now he's got to be matched by Devin White. Patrick Mahomes breaks the huddle. That's the first thing he looks at. He knows as a defense you're in man-to-man coverage. Either cover zero, which he yells out, or cover one. It doesn't matter. Now, when you get to man-to-man coverage, quarterbacks think of two things. Number one, is there a scheme, a mesh, a rub, a pick that we love? Or is there a guy that we love? Were you the first pick on the schoolyard at the draft? Now, newsflash. It wasn't Mike Greenberg and it wasn't Rex Ryan. The guy who was picked first was Tyreek Hill, okay? He's one-on-one up top there, and he's just going to run a go route. Patrick Mahomes knows the coverage. He already knows that I know my guy's one-on-one down in red zone go route, but it's got to happen quick. Now, again, why is he able to happen so fast? Watch this. Look at this with Patrick Mahomes. Knows the coverage. Ball's already coming out of his hands. The ball is already coming out of his hands. And Tyreek Hill, that pick is only 1, 2, 3, 4 yards downfield. How can Patrick Mahomes operate that quickly at the line of scrimmage? Because he already knew what the coverage was. And how about that throw? Look at the throw. That is incredible ball placement. When you give the most talented player at the position the coverage before the snap, talent reigns supreme. But this is the angle that I love the most. Because listen, the information isn't only for just Patrick Mahomes. The information could be for everybody on the offense. Look at Tyreek Hill's 4 yards downfield. He's already peeking back for the football. He knows it's man coverage too. He knows Patrick Mahomes is going to dial him up because at the end of the day, this is actually pretty good coverage. But Carlton Davis is just getting his head around, and the ball's already about to drop in Tyreek Hill's lap. The information that Patrick Mahomes gets before the snap, I want everyone to think of when they were a student and they had to go into exams. Imagine not only knowing the questions, but knowing the answer to the questions before walking in. It might have been one of the reasons why I got through school. It would have helped you perform a lot better, just like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
It's extraordinarily well done. It's such a good look at it there. And Rex, again, no one knows defense more than you do. And to some degree, Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey, they're just ridiculously good.
They are.
But you didn't like what you saw from the defensive game plan anyway.
No, it was absolutely brutal. Like, this was, and there's one great example by Dan, but there were several in that. It's like, first off, you have to start by saying, okay, this guy can beat me immediately. Like, and so to me, I've got to take him away, at least slow him up. How do you do that? You roll your coverage to Tyreek Hill 100% of the time. Why? Because 100% of the time, you can't cover a man coverage. And that's what happens. So you have to do that, and it's just absolutely crazy. Look, he may know it's, that your coverage, you're rolling your coverage there. At least he ain't going to beat you with Tyreek Hill.
Ryan Clark, let's talk about it. What are you going to do with them when they're playing well, when Patrick Mahomes is doing his thing and Tyreek Hill is doing his thing? Like, what are you going to do with them?
You ain't gonna do a dang thing, Greeny, but get your tail cooked. Just like we saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last night. Listen, bro, when they pull out the big game playbook, they're a totally different team. You look at Baltimore, Buffalo, Tampa Bay. They outgained those three teams in their big games, the big opponents, the good offenses, by 675 yards because they understand the moment. They know what they have to do offensively. And Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid, they stopped playing small ball. They stopped saying, you know what, let's work on the run game or let's focus on this guy. And they started saying, we about to bomb on y'all and y'all can't stop us. Look at the 4-minute offense when other teams turn around and hand the ball off and try to salt the clock away. You know what they did? They put the ball in the hands of the best football player in the world, and that's Patrick Mahomes. And when this team comes out with this mindset, you can't stop them. And we saw that last night.
They were unbelievable yesterday. That was a